Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Leppy Duels, Week 5, presented by Jarvie Media once again. I'm your host, Jacob Arvidson, and we are so excited to have you back with us, especially our brand new viewers. If you are viewing this show for the first time, please make a quick second of your time to like and subscribe down below. We really appreciate the support. Here's how the show works. In a moment, you will meet our 4 distinguished guests. Each of those guests will go 1v1 versus the other 3 contestants. Within each duel, each contestant will have 1 minute to deliver their points on the assigned debate topic and an additional 20 seconds to respond to their opponent's comments. After that, I, as the host, will determine a winner of each duel, and the first one to fill up their scoring bar first wins the episode. Simple enough, let's meet this week's guest. First up, he's the co-host of the Caddy Chat podcast right here on the Leprechaun Hollows channel and co-owner at Freshwood Disc Golf. Give it up for Mr. Josh Wood. Next up, he's DGA sponsored and a returning Leppy Duels champion. This year he's riding a turtle. Give it up for Trevor Harbolt. Our third panelist this week hails from the East Coast. He's an established tournament director out there and an Innova ambassador. Give it up for Mr. Adam Harris. And finally, rounding out the cast for Week 5, she's the MVP Women's Team captain and co-director of the Michigan Women's Series, Miss Jennifer Sawyer. Welcome aboard, guys. Thanks for joining the show. Excited to have all 4 of you on this week. Let's get into it. Last weekend, the Memorial Championship was the premier tournament on the docket. We had a lot of big players there. It's been an NT in the past. It's been a DGPT stop in the past. But the last 2 years, it's been downgraded to an A tier. What are your guys' thoughts on the matter? Should it be on tour? Should it be an A tier? I want to know what you guys think. Josh, Trevor, you're on the board. Josh, you're up.
I don't think it should be a part of the tour. I actually think a lot of players go and play that, not so much for nostalgia, but it's the beginning of the season. They're in the area. It's a good course to warm up on. I think that's the second time in a month that we see a big tournament at Vista del Camino. And I actually don't feel like it's really a tour-worthy course these days. I've talked about this before in regard to not really being a big fan of artificial OB and artificial Mandos when you're on a tight park like that without trees. I like a wooded course, but I don't think it should be. We just had a Las Vegas Challenge, which is a similar course, so I don't think it's necessary. And I think WACO is a great stop for the tour after Las Vegas.
Fair enough. Trevor, what are your thoughts?
So it depends on what type of tour we're talking about here. Are we talking about the Pro Tour? If so, then we're not. If we're talking about an A tier, then yeah, it's definitely supposed to be on the tour. Masters Tour even coming up, that could probably be a big stop for the Masters Tour. But for the Pro Tour, no. We're seeing people shoot 16 down on this course, and it's 1100 rated. It just doesn't make any sense. It's also an unsafe course with all the sidewalks. They don't really shut it down for the public while the tournament's going on. So there's a bunch of people walking around all the time. There have been, incidents where people have been hit with discs and stuff while the tournament's going on. So definitely not on the Pro Tour level, I don't think. I think it's a great stop, and I think people go there because of the nostalgia. I do think they also go there for a paycheck. And, there was $5,000 at the one this past weekend. So Gannon Burr walked home with a pretty nice paycheck. So yes, in a way it should be on the tour, but not on the Pro Tour at all. I don't think it's I think it's too easy.
Trevor, I like your thoughts where you went, kind of saying it might be good for the Masters. So I'd like you to dive into that here in a second. But Josh, you're up first. Separate yourself from Trevor a little bit.
Unfortunately, like every time me and Trevor debate, we actually agree on a lot of this. I think it is a fun course to play, but I don't think it's tour worthy. And again, especially because of the monotony of the month of January and February, when all the tournaments we're watching are desert courses and lots of skipping, lots of artificial OB. And I It's not my favorite stop along the tour. If it were on the tour, I don't think it should be there.
Trevor, bring it home.
Well, you told me to talk about the Masters, and I think it's just the perfect course for the Masters. It is easy for players that can throw 400 to 500 feet on a dime. So, and it's not really a fun course. Let's be real. Josh's argument with that one is terrible. It's not fun at all. It's a boring course. It's a lot of water. It's just not a course that should be on the tour, to be honest. And I think we're right when we're together. We always kind of agree on the same things. It's just the way I say it sounds a lot better, so I always win.
Yeah, and you convinced me. I take it back. It's not a fun course.
I think the fun aspect is important. I don't know, Trevor, I'd love to hear your thoughts real quick on the Masters side, right? You brought up the sidewalks and it being in a park being an issue for a Pro Tour stop. Why is that not an issue for the Masters?
Well, at the moment, they're just trying to get courses that will fit the game for the Masters. And not only that, but get a place that will allow bigger tournaments to come in that will have spectators and stuff. So I think the Masters side of it would be good because it's just that type of course. It's an old school course. It is nostalgic. And the Masters like that kind of stuff. And that's what we're going back to when we get to the Masters tours, it's kind of going back to courses that we used to play back in the day when the open field was on tour.
Gotcha. I was just curious there where you would take that Masters argument. Josh, I'm going to give you the win on this one because I do like your initial point. I wish you had touched on it again, but I did like it, saying, they did just play this course, Vista, at least half the course. They played Vista, 3 weeks ago for the Shelly Sharp Memorial. And yeah, the hard pan ground is very similar to Las Vegas, and obviously Shelly Sharp being half the same course. And now, so it is monotonous, and I think that's an important point. So Josh takes the win here in duel number 1, sending us over to duel number 2 between Adam and Jen. You guys are debating what are we looking forward to for WACO this weekend. Adam, you're up first.
What I'm most looking forward to WACO is the course itself. I was fortunate enough to be in Texas 2 years ago, the week of the event, and got to play it the week it was set up for the tournament and got to watch it live for 2 of the 3 days. And it was awesome. They actually play wooded golf. They make them throw lines in the woods. And those holes are tight. And because of the nature of the course, the rough is rough. I mean, if you're 5 feet off, you're pitching out or at least laying up. It's forced shot shaping. And there's not nearly enough of that on tour anymore. The back 9, well, technically the back 9 of the course, they start on 5 or 6 somewhere in there, is all wooded. And then they come out in the field holes, which is the front, which is split on the way the Pro Tour does, and it's all windy because it's right on the river, and they have to be accurate there as well. It actually brings a different type of player to an accurate control player over the powered bombers that are on a lot of the courses these days.
Well said. Jen, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm most looking forward to the FPO battle. I may be a little bit biased, but I'm very excited to see how FPO plays out in WACO. We've got 2 big hitters that are making their season debut. Number 1 ranked Kristen Tatar and number 2 ranked Paige Pierce. Kristen is coming off an incredible 2022 season and is quickly becoming everyone's favorite player. Not only did she get her first world title last year, but she was also crowned Disc Golf Pro Tour's FPO Player of the Year and received the Estonia Sports Award for her performance last year. She also placed second in WACO, and she's very capable of earning a top spot in Texas. There's also no need to rattle off Paige's accomplishments. She is a Texas girl with wins in WACO in 2017 and 2018. In 2022, she tied for 6th, 21 5th, but I don't think her finish in 2022 or in 2020 was any sort of indicator just because of the pandemic. But the last couple of years, we've seen a couple new players on tour dominate. So are we going to see one of the newer players on tour, or are we going to see one of the top competitors?
I like it. 2 different takes. Adam, tell me why the storyline of the course itself is more important than the FPO battle that we're inevitably going to watch.
My personal take is the course itself will also incorporate the FPO battle. The year I was there, Kona won, and that was her first big win. And it was awesome to see her in person. You're going to get players that don't normally win that have a chance to win because it's just not smash power golf. You can have a whole bunch of players come up because the course favors accuracy over power. And there's just not enough of that on tour to showcase the full capabilities of a disc golfer anymore. A lot of it's just distance crush. And I think you're going to get people that might come out of nowhere and be in the top 5 and maybe a new winner yet again.
Looking forward to that for sure. Jen, why is the FPO battle a bigger storyline than the course?
Well, as Adam mentioned, last year Valerie took the win by four strokes. The year before that, Kona took the win. So who's going to get that dub? That battle on this course is going to be the bigger story than the course itself. We've got number 1, number 2, and number 3 ranked players in Paige, Katrina, and Kristen, and a lot of good talent coming up in the Pro Tour, and I think that's what we're going to see.
Awesome. You guys are making it difficult for me. Adam, I 100% agree with you as far as the course definitely being a storyline, especially building off the first question and the first duel that we saw between Josh and Trevor. I mean, the consensus is the West courses in the desert are just straight boring most of the time, very monotonous and the same shot over and over. WACO provides an alternative to that and tests them in a different way. Jen, I think it's important you brought up the big hitters in the FPO. They're coming back. They weren't in Vegas, Paige and Kristen, that is. And here they are showing up in WACO. What are they going to look like? Plus, you know, like you said, we've had different winners the last couple years. So for that reason, Jen, I'm giving you the win. I like that storyline just a little bit more than the course itself, although both are very good storylines. But the FPO battle is going to be fun to watch, and I'm very interested to see who comes out on top for sure. So Jen wins this duel. Brings us to duel number 3. Josh, you're going to join the battlefield with Jen. Jen, you're going to be up first. You guys are debating what is the area of disc golf growth that this sport is missing on the most. Jen, go for it.
Well, the area of growth disc golf is missing is the business side, specifically agents. And I know that we mentioned this in a previous duel with Brian just a couple of weeks ago. But I'm going to read a text exchange that I literally had with Brian before that debate. And that said, I said to Brian, I should start giving you agent fees. Brian says, I feel like an agent more and more every day. I said, I mean, it's an underdeveloped market for this industry. You'd be great. Just saying. Text proof to prove that was my thoughts before the debates, just to preemptively state this. But now we're starting to see agents pop up a little bit more in the last few years. And with that continued growth, if we want to assert ourselves into that high-level professional arena, we will really need to develop this market. Scouting, recruiting, contract negotiations, sales strategies, public image strategies, etc. Before this new era of disc golf, I'll call it, you had to try to market yourself. Potential sponsors, sell your own swag, engage and develop with your own fan base, plan your own schedules. You would have groups of guys coming together to kind of collectively try to develop sponsorship agreements for like their top player in the friend group. And we really need a professional level, you know, agent to do that for us so that the players can do what they do best and play.
I love it. It's a great take. Josh, where are you going to go with this question?
Yeah, well, first of all, I love that. I mean, Lord knows Gannon could have been saved a lot of suffering if he had a good agent right now. I think my answer is actually going to complement Jen's. But I think what's necessary to get to a point where we can have agents that can do a good job is we need outside sponsorship in a big way. I think that's the missing link that helps disc golf get from a very popular sport we all love to a sensation, being able to pay our players well, being able to not have as many people trying to struggle across the country, tournament to tournament in an RV, and having some real representation outside of disc golf that's going to bring more people in. More money into the sport equals more people playing the sport and people being able to make a living at it. And I think outside sponsorship is the key to all of this.
All right, fair enough. 2 great takes. Jen, why is the agent part of this growth that we're missing on a bigger hole than the sponsorship Josh is talking about?
Well, I think if we want to be perceived as professional athletes, we need to have professional level services that protects players, manufacturers, and sponsors. Big sponsors aren't going to come on to an unknown group that don't have proper representation and proper, public display of professionalism. And once that's under wraps, sponsors will come on board.
Josh, what do you got to say? Can you bring this one home for yourself?
I hope so. I think the question that everybody's going to ask, and even when it comes to the agency, is show me the money. We need big sponsors with big fat wallets to help get this sport to the next level and make agency at all a possibility.
All right. Again, two great takes. For this one, though, I think the key word in all of your guys' statements is professionalism. And I think Jen's take gets us there before the sponsorship does. I think right now we've already seen, like you mentioned, Gannon, Josh, we've already seen that one agent, a good agent in that situation could have made a huge difference. And that professionalism is missing at this point. And I think Jen makes a good point when she says, an agent isn't just for the player or the manufacturer. An agent helps with the sponsorship as well. So for that reason, tying it all together, Jen takes the win in duel number 3. Sends us to duel number 4 between Trevor and Adam. Trevor, you are up first. What's the best area in the United States of America for disc golf? Take it away.
Well, I'm lucky, and I've got to witness a lot of these areas that are the best for disc golf. But in my personal opinion, it's the Northeast, Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, all up there. The reason why is because of a few reasons. NETC, New England Team Challenge. Man, from October to March or April, they do a team challenge where you've got divisions like soccer divisions. Relegations happen, and you can get dropped to a division, you can get moved up a division, and you have home matches and away matches, and it's one of the most fun things I've ever done. Each team cooks, lunch in between their home match, and they feed the other team. You get about 25 people on your team. You play doubles against their teams, and then you play singles. That alone right there is one of the biggest reasons for me. And also every course up there is taken care of. It's pay to play, most of them. And so when you pay, you get to play on this beautiful property that's picked up, taken care of, beautiful tee signs, beautiful tee pads. Everything's it's just a magical place to play disc golf in the Northeast.
Awesome. Adam, that's your neck of the woods. Where are you going to go with this question?
No question. I'm going to the same place, the Northeast. If you've been around a while, you've heard home of the East Coast Wooded Monsters. I've played just under 400 courses in 37 states. The vast majority of scoring separation in tournaments and in casual play, not using rope. I mean, I hate rope. I'll just say it. Not using rope is in the Northeast. You can get scoring separation in, as mentioned, a team match play, a weekly league, tournaments, A-tiers, NTs, Disc Golf Pro Tour events, Maple Hill, Iron Hill, Smugs, North Boundary, Moraine, Deer Lake, Stafford Woods. Those are all just Silver Series and above in the last couple years. And when you watch the lines that the players are forced to throw and see the shot-specific flight paths, man, that is so much more fun than, oh, cool, another 480-foot hyzer. I mean, that's boring. I played the Memorial. It was so boring. I'm a lefty, and I threw the same hyzer shot over and over that the righties threw, the same hyzer shot. You just don't do that in the Northeast. It's kind of incredible. I don't know if any of you guys remember Seppo's Eagle on hole 17 at Iron Hill a couple years ago. Probably not, because it was an NT, not a Pro Tour. Man, I have never heard a crowd outside of Conrad's moment like that ever in person at anything other than an NFL game. I was the TD, and it was so loud in the woods. I was in the parking lot, and I was checking scores, and I had to ask somebody, what just happened? And they said, somebody just got a 3 on hole 17. And I went, no, check the UDisc guy. He got that wrong. There is no way somebody eagled that hole. And I started getting texts. I started texting people out there just to verify. Like, as a TD, I thought that could not have happened. And when you're a TD and you're checking on your live scores because something's wrong and it actually happened, where do you get a moment like that? Like, where else are you going to get a moment like that on a giant wooded course that something seems impossible and it happened? It's only in big wooded courses.
All right, so you're going with the same area of the country, both of you, but Trevor, you kind of went the direction of the people as well in that area being the separator. Adam, you went more the courses. So separate yourselves even further that direction. Trevor, you're up.
While the courses are amazing, and I'm a wooded golfer, there are wooded courses in Michigan and Kentucky and all these other Tennessee places like that. But it is the energy, it is the people for me. Like, you go up there, there's a league every day somewhere. There's somebody always wanting to play disc golf with you. There's shops everywhere to go meet new people, go get all the discs you want. New England is, and then the vibes, all the food up there. After you're done, you can go get a nice brew from all the cool breweries and all the good food up there, all the historic stuff. But he is right, though. Maple Hill, Smugs Notch. I mean, those two are top 10 courses in the world, so that's another reason. But the people are the main reason.
Adam, what do you got? Can you bring this debate home for yourself?
No, I hear you on the people. The people build the courses. There's no way about it. I mean, this sport was built on the backs of volunteers, and everybody put the time and the energy and everything on their backs to build these places and to maintain them. Maintaining a wooded course is a million times harder than mowing grass. I mean, I've done it. It's brutal. But keeping the courses nice and getting them in playing shape is something that's just, man, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like seeing what can happen at a big level event on a wooded golf course. And that's an aspect that the tour is slowly leaving behind because of the spectators, and we just don't have venue-specific built for that. So, it's the main wide open bomber courses. Okay, cool. It's great to see that. But when you can see somebody do something that seems impossible, that only happens because of the courses. No, I'm sticking with the courses.
All right. Adam, you did kind of bow down to Trevor a little bit there, saying the people do build the courses, which I think is important to note. But you guys did take different sides to the same argument there, which was fun. I appreciate that. Adam, I am going to ding you here for going well over the minute on the initial statement, though. So Trevor is going to take the win. That kind of separated it for me. Trevor gets the win here in duel number 4. Sends us to duel number 5. Josh and Adam, you are up for this one. Josh, you're going to be up. First, what's the most annoying phrase used by disc golfers? Take it away, Josh.
Yeah, my phrase is, oh, and it had the right line if it wasn't for that tree. And I'm guilty of saying it, but every time it comes out of my mouth or somebody else's, I think, no, if it was on the right line, it would be in the basket. Clearly there's something wrong with it. But again, in Michigan, we do have a lot of wooded courses and a lot of beasts. And matter of fact, Jake's own Leprechaun Hollows is a pretty difficult wooded course. And yeah, you're going to hear that phrase probably 10 times in a round when it hits a tree. Oh, it had the right line. But clearly it didn't, because that line led you to a tree.
Well said. I like the way you went with that. Adam, what do you got for us?
Mine's simple. When an announcer says that makes 6 birdies in a row for such player, man, the game's evolved beyond the courses we're playing them on. I mean, I'm going to keep harping on it because I just think our courses are not, they're just not up to the level of play today in most cases. 12 down, okay. 16, 14, 15 down, that's way too many to reflect a good reflection on the game. It's just not golf when you're playing, I have to birdie every hole. That's not the golf that I grew up watching, and playing with ball golf. It just diminishes the events when players are coming in after 3 rounds and they're minus 35. Just my personal take.
I like it, Adam. Josh, what do you have to say about your annoying statement? Why is it more annoying than an announcer rattling off that there's been 6 birdies in a row?
Well, I mean, where I don't agree, I mean, I don't disagree with Adam that we need a higher level of courses for our pros. That's not really a phrase I hear often. That's not something I think of when I think of an annoying phrase. And I hear 10 times around, and it gets on my nerves, and I continue to say it myself.
Adam, why is an announcer saying 6 birdies in a row more annoying than a card mate announcing that you threw the right line but you hit a tree?
If you threw the right line, you didn't hit a tree. That's just a personal perception problem. I mean, I play a lot of wooded golf. If you throw it at a tree and you say that, man, that's on you. And, you should just eat that one. I grew up playing ball golf. People don't get 6 birdies in a row in golf. The fact that we're letting it happen means our courses haven't kept up with the game. It's just a paradox of the growth of the sport has grown so quickly.
All right, I like both of your guys' statements. For the sanctity of the question, though, I'm going to give this win to Josh. Adam, I love your statement about, the courses being too easy and being birdie fest. I think that's something the game needs to get better on. But as far as annoying phrases, I'm going to give Josh the win on this particular duel. Sends us to duel number 3, Trevor and Jen. Big question here. Trevor, you are up second. Jen is up first. Should tournament directors be paid?
Abso-freaking-lutely. TDs should be paid. Hotter take, league directors should be paid too. Maybe it's because the sport started as a grassroots movement, developed, and composed of ordinary people. There seems to be an expectation that TDs and league directors are doing all this work out of the kindness of their heart for the benefit of other people. Now, TD fees should be based on a percentage of the purse. This incentivizes TDs to maximize total payout, work hard to fundraise, or to bring in bigger sponsors, which the sports needs as well. This makes it more likely that they'll work hard to make it a great event because they will be directly rewarded instead of just receiving CARBA credits. Now, why should we do this? If you ask anybody to coordinate an event with, say, 100 people for free, they'll laugh in your face. So unless you've done it, you don't really know what it takes to run an event. There are liability insurance requirements, local government coordination and approvals to get, course maintenance to prep for, submissions and approvals to your local state coordinator, TD reports return back to PDGA. If you want a bigger purse and bring in more players, you have to fundraise. But in the end, I ask anyone on this call or watching, how willing are you to spend 40 hours or more working for free? How willing are you to give up 12 hours or more of your Saturday or your whole weekend for free?
Well said, Jen. She's rattling off information at you, Trevor. What do you got to respond?
I mean, absolutely these guys should get paid, man. She's absolutely right. But what really needs to be fixed for these people to run tournaments and put all these hours in and all this free work, as you say, in, what they really need is the PDGA to actually do better. The PDGA doesn't set these people up to get paid. They set them up to get a percentage off of what they go fundraise. But if you gave them better incentives to do more, they would do more and could get paid more. Really what we need is a TD to run the tour, which they have working right now with Nate Heinold and a few tournament directors here and there. So it's all one straight line. There's nothing crazy going on. The PDGA has a problem. They have C tiers every weekend, 35 of them, 30 B tiers, 6 A tiers. There's just not enough room to pay all of these people. So the PDGA will never do it. So what needs to happen is the PDGA needs to get better and fix this situation so these people who do all this hard work for the game that we all love can get paid.
All right, similar arguments. Jen, separate yourself if you can from Trevor.
No, I agree. There's so many tournaments in Michigan. You can play a tournament any weekend of the year. It is probably the same for many states. So our tournament market has been flooded with the growth that we've seen over the years, which is good and bad. Which is why if you use a fee-based, percentage base of the purse, this incentivizes more on majors or disc golf pro tour events versus your local C tiers. This makes it kind of equivalent. And yeah, I don't think we should really rely on the PDGA to pay us because let's just face it, I don't think anyone would agree that would happen. So if we do it ourselves like we always have, make it based on the percentage of the purse, this will incentivize the TDs to do a good job.
All right, I like it, Jen. Trevor, why is the PDGA fixing things and stepping in the most important aspect of this?
Well, because they're the ones that set the standards and set the rules for these TDs to make them money. So if they did a better job at making it easier for these TDs to make money and give them, I don't know, like sponsorship packets or things that could show them how to get fundraising, how to do sponsors, instead of just, here you go, here's a tournament, go do it. You raise the money, we get paid off of your players and off of your tournament. They need to get something like a package set up to set these TDs up to ready themselves to get money, to make more money for the tournament so they can get bigger sponsors.
I love it. I love that you guys both said yes, they should be paid, but kind of took a different spin on it. So good stuff there. Trevor, I love the PDGA needing to step up their game. I think that's important. A packet would be great. I think a lot of new tournament directors could really use that. Jen, I think your statement on the aspect of tournament directors being incentivized themselves based on percentage of the purse being paid to them, giving them motivation to go out and get more sponsors, giving them motivation to run a better event, clean up their course a little bit more, hire volunteers, hire paid staff, whatever the need may be. I think that's the key motivating factor here to keep tournament directors building, and I'm going to give you the win on this, which puts Jen as our first winner without needing a tiebreaker in Leppy Duels history. 3 wins for you, Jen, sends you to the stage. What do you got for the people?
Thanks. I would have swore Trevor would have gotten that. But just want to take a minute and kind of shout out the Michigan Women's Series. We are a collective of women-only disc golf tournaments here in Michigan, and this year we have 6 events coming up. We are already sold out of our first event. We are almost full on our second event, and we are so excited this year. We have 1 event every month, April through September, for women-only disc golf, and it's some of the most fun tournaments you will ever go to. We require our series standards. You have to have certain amenities at any of our events to be a part of the Michigan Women's Series. And thanks to Great Lakes Disc Golf for sponsoring our fundraiser event, and we raised well more than we expected to raise for this year. And thanks to MVP Disc Sports for being our headlining sponsor.
Beautiful stuff. Congrats again, Jen. If you're in Michigan, go check out Jen Sawyer and the Michigan Women's Series. She's doing great things there. Go give her some attention and participate in the event. So once again, thank you so much to Adam, Jen, Josh, Trevor, thanks for joining us this week. All of you at home who took the time to watch, we appreciate every single one of you. Please tune in next week for episode 6. We've got another fantastic cast lined up for you guys. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great week. Thanks for watching.